Firing guns at once and explode into space, and like a true nature's child, we were born to be. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with the VeVe, OMI, DEFINITY, DEVVE, daCat, FIAS update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Oh shit. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon, especially that super thanks button down below, super chats as well. I'm alive early today because I have a meeting at 8:30 that unfortunately cannot be moved. So I am finalizing now. So I had to just go live at 7 today. So you will have to deal. What do we have today? Which VeVe grail will be best for ROI? We'll get into that. We'll get into why. I think I went over. Let me delete these. Give me one sec. I have to delete a couple of things over here. Psyduck is in the Super Bowl. Thought that was great. Total grail if he ever comes to VeVe. I don't know if he ever will. Did we go through Saturdays? I don't think we did. Oh no, maybe we did. Maybe we did. I was gonna name this. I was gonna name this something about Whatnot again because they have another Whatnot thing going live on Wednesday at 6. And there was I forget who. There was some guy over in the VeVe Facebook going over and saying, "Oh, this is a." Did they buy out Agoro and Figpin? And I don't think there's really any evidence to support that. But again, we'll go over everything. First, let's do some crypto here. Start off with FIAS because that's what's on my screen. We are down about 4.5% on the day to about $1.4 million market cap. So it's actually not horrible. Now, granted, we were like 2 point whatever, not that long ago, and we were 1 million not that long ago. So up 40% from nothing is still basically nothing. I really don't have any FIAS yet. I am going to get some. It might take a little bit. Again, I'm floating a little bit of cash for a friendo. When I get that cash back, we'll see. I don't know if we'll when I get that cash back, we'll see if I can get some. I'll let y'all know. I did say I didn't want to put really any more into crypto, but that was really a lot of my existing positions. I mean, I'll DCA as prices are down here because they're so freaking cheap. And granted, they could get cheaper, but FIAS I don't have a meaningful position in. I had said that about my other positions that I had meaningful positions in, and then it got wrecked, as did everyone else. I mean, but again, just because someone's down, like Michael Saylor's down like several billion. I think Tom Lee's down like 8 billion. I think he was down 8 billion. He might only be down like 6.5 now. So recovered a little bit. But yeah, as long as the thesis of what you're buying hasn't changed, I feel like you're Gucci. But for FIAS, that is a separate company. It is a spinoff of DEVVE. DEVVE has I mean, they're fully funded. They're fine. But FIAS has not yet done a demo fundraiser. Like we're not. I have to get Tom on. We had a meeting the other day, and I'm very excited on where they're going. I don't know how much of that he'll be able to say on the stream. He just went on Bleeds' podcast. I know he's super busy, so I don't want to bug him too much. But we will get him on at some point just to talk about FIAS, how it's different from Dev, how they can help each other and grow synergistically. Speaking of Dev, let's go over and take a look at the Dev ecosystem or DEVVE token. They are down another 4% today. What a surprise. Down to $5.6 million market cap. Jesus. Remember that when this is like 30x the price of where it is now? Yeah, Pepperidge Farm remembers. But this intense bear market, which like Ande's saying, like we've been like we haven't had a bull market for alts in like 5 years. So well, I mean, 4 years ago, we were at like the tail end of one, and we had a couple of things that were up, but for the most part, it hasn't been since 2021, so about 4.5 years. Now we did kind of have a bull market for Bitcoin, and ETH had reached 5K at one point, and that was nice. But for the most part, yeah, aside from those two things, and then you have XRP and Solana that did their ups and downs, and it's been crazy. So yeah, I mean, but yeah, we haven't had a bull for alts in several years, so we're in it. Like we're in this bear. How long do we stay in it for, though? My guess would be at least another 5 months. It could be longer. We might have to wait till next year. We'll see. Anyway, let's go to the Definity. That's yeah, it's up 0.5% on the day. Pretty much, it could be up or down 1%. It doesn't really matter. Still at 1.2 cents. So very, very low market cap, 1.9 million. Again, for what they're doing, they just had the best month ever in January, after their best month ever in December. I think by middle of the year, they'll have $1 million per month that they'll be generating, that they'll be doing in top line revenue, and they have really good margins too. So again, does that come soon? Maybe. I'd say by summer though. By July, I'd say they'd have it. Now is June technically or summer technically June 21st? Absolutely. Then maybe we get it there, and maybe we'll have Manu come on just to say, like, give us an update at that point. There'll be other details rolling out from Definity over the next couple months. I mean, Bloomsbury Money partner with Midnight Foundation, so obviously you have a big partner with Charles Hoskinson. How many more big partnerships like that do they get? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, it's great news for the company. $1,800 in volume though, so this is pretty undervalued because nobody knows about it yet, despite it doing insane. And I'll tell you this too. I'm going to drink on Thursday, because Janie's coming on. OMI homie Janie's coming on, and I'm gonna get lit with her. It's gonna be great. I feel like I need a drink when I say this. Let's put it this way. A few years ago, nobody really cared about Definity and what they were doing. Nowadays, and obviously this means nothing about the token, but the company, they have to swat people off like flies. Like, hey, no, this is our company, and we have to be very careful about who they let in, because everyone wants a piece. On this thing, special edition Michelangelo's best. We'll get to that. First, I guess we'll do daCat here as well. So I actually had $304 in volume, very low, but not up or down any percent. It's 0% on the day. $700,000 market cap. What's up, Linky? Why I go in and talk about daCat today is because I got, I guess when you, I have to be careful how I say it. I guess when you, I don't know how they did this, but I'll say this. I get calls and emails from animal charities all the time, because like anything, like a like a hooker that retires and sells her client list to another hooker. Charities do the same thing, as do any type of CRO, people that generate leads wherever. If you have somebody that spends, or at least the charities donate, like I'm part of Best Friend Animal Society's Golden Circle. I think you have to give like $10,000 a year or something to be part of it. And what does that mean? That means like you're on a list of people that give a lot of money to charity. And what do? They sell that list to other charities. Why? Because that's just a way that they get revenues. Like, oh yeah, here's a really good list. New donors, old donors that haven't given in a while, but they used to give. And they have separate lists for things for people. And long story short, the comic world is a small world, and my contact got passed around, and this is the comic world I'm talking about now, not the other world. And last year, when I got 2 offers to buy daCat, and I declined them because they were very small, but I did wind up selling a piece of it at 150K valuation, which I realize now is very, very small. When we do another, it'll be $500,000, and it'll be a small amount. But what I got today was 2 offers from publishing companies. They're like, hey, sell us the rights to publish your book. And I was like, well, it's a comic, and they're like, we don't care. And then I was like, okay. I was like, just we're curious, like, do you even know what it's about? And they're like, yeah, actually, saw your YouTube channel. I was like, wait, really? Like, yeah. I was like, okay. But do you like, have you seen any pages or whatever? Like, yeah, we saw one of the thing that's on your Twitter. I was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, because it's the main thing that's pinned to my Twitter. And they're like, yeah, it looks great. We want the rights to publish. And so I have a buddy of mine that actually does do book publishing, and he has done comics before, and he's a friend, so I would go through him to do it. He does publishing for books worldwide, and he's starting to get into comic books now. Um, so I mean, I was flattered, but I told him like we're gonna do the publishing on our own. So granted, I got calls from two people. One person, like, they just didn't really know anything about me or daCat. There was like cold calling, and they didn't research. But one person like researched, and was very interested. So I mean, I'll keep him in my quiver for an arrow that I could shoot one day, maybe if me and maybe my friend doesn't want to do it because he thinks it's a bad idea, then I'll go through him. And if he wants to front the money for the printing costs, for the publishing rights. So, but again, I have to go over really like what I would give up by selling publishing rights, and then I wouldn't be able to do it through my own. Like, we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep y'all posted. And when I'm back in Chicago, I'm gonna go bounce back from here. There's plenty of people that think we go down to 25, 35K, 50. Some people think that this is what they say, like first step in like getting towards the bottom, and it might go down to 52, come back up to 60. Yeah, I don't think anything moves in a really positive direction until the Clarity Act passes and Jerome Powell gets out of office. This is possible 1 to year bear best scenario. I would say a year would be good. I don't like. I don't. So I guess two things. I wouldn't like it if it bounced back right away in like 3 months, and a K-shaped recovery, just because I haven't sold anything of value yet that I could use to DCA down here. But just because I don't like something doesn't mean that won't happen. I think that can happen, but there's just nothing that signals to me that we're gonna have this K-shaped recovery right away. It probably has to do with those two things I told you about. And then once that happens, then we could start doing it. Now that could start in May, March, April, May. So yeah, that could start in 3 months. I just to do it right away, we have to see what happens, and when those $2,000 checks come out too. No all season market. I mean, there will be, but yeah, there hasn't been for like 4.5 years. There will be again, but again, it's gonna like I think you're hinting at. It's going to be more geared towards things that have utility, that businesses are backing it. Although, listen, I don't do meme coins. I don't touch it. Like, there was somebody that reached out the other day, like, hey, I'm doing a meme coin in this crazy market. Do you want it? Like, no. Like, he offered to pay, and I was like, dude, I'm not fucking doing that. Again, if you have a game, if you have utility, if there's a reason to buy the token, if there's something that it's attached to, like a business that has revenue, sure. But just because I don't like meme tokens, and I think a lot of the current market has kind of wisened up to that, doesn't mean, like, I still think there will be a meme season, and you're going to see things that there's no reason for it to go crazy, and those things will go crazy. I wish it weren't like that, but that's just what's going to happen. And you're going to have, like, not just an alt season, you'll probably have a meme season as well, because again, a lot of people make a lot on one, they go to another, to another, to another. Yeah, agreed. 11.5 million tokens went to zero last year, and that number is probably going to increase this year, because yeah, there's a lot of crap out there. So every good project, Web3, for example, that was promising ended up being rogue. A lot, yeah. AI and gaming coins didn't do anything was my biggest bet as well. I mean, you can't like again, just because one of the alts that you have hasn't run yet doesn't mean that the company is bad. It just means that alts haven't had their season yet. Like there's a Off the Grid has a token called Guns, I think, and they have a ton of people playing that game. It's a really cool game, but the token's just taken an absolute dump, and it's not because they were a rug or it was because that they tried to take advantage of they just that's just the way of the market. So I mean, same thing with DEVVE. Like DEVVE has like one of the biggest partnerships in the world. It just hasn't been announced yet, and because of that fact, because it got delayed. Everyone just yeeted their tokens. Like most people at a loss. So yeah, wild times. But yeah, I don't know what AI and gaming tokens that you had. Zombie says, yo, what up, Zombie? New time? Yeah, we. Sorry, drinking water. It was just for tonight. Just because I have a meeting at touche, girl, touche. I had a meeting at 8:30, so I couldn't go live at 8. So I'm just gonna do this for an hour ish, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, let's go over OMI and let's take a look at Bitcoin's at 70K. Not bad. Let's eat that. And then we'll go over OMI, I promise. ETH at 21 hundo. All right, OMI up 0.5%. 0.00128. So nothing really to write home about. Let's see the volume here. 1 million in volume. So that's very, very low. And a lot of that volume is not real. Like Deepcoin's 500,000. I don't know anyone that trades on Deepcoin. Like there's no way there's $500,000 in volume. Like, so I don't know what that's about. So like, let's say 500K. And that's if you believe we have 100K on BingX. Like, for example, Kraken, there's less than $5,000 in volume on Kraken. That is ridiculous. I mean, again, the company's doing very well. It's the best digital collectibles platform out there. And I feel like a lot of people like, hey, if you're gonna invest into VeVe or invest, like, do you want to buy the token or do you want to buy collectibles? And any new person coming in will be like, okay, or even anyone that's looking at it just from an outside perspective that's trying to be unbiased. Okay, where's the best ROI? I'm not gonna lie, I still think the token, but that's because VeVe collectibles is like the S&P 500. I think the overall company will continue to grow. The valuation of the company will continue to grow. You'll get more users, and the company and the token will rise at a commensurate rate together. But most of the value from the S&P 500 comes from like, what, 30 stocks? I would say most of it comes from like 9 or 10 stocks, and they're all tech, and they're all things that like kind of bring the S&P up. But most of the stuff in the S&P is kind of flat or just not growing that well. Like also, if you measure the S&P in dollars, of course, that all-time high. But if you measure it in gold, it's actually not at all. It's actually very low. So I mean, again, that's just a way of measuring it. I mean, dollar's at a 4-year low. Despite the fact that Trump says the dollar's like the strongest it's ever been, it's actually at a 4-year low. What does that correct at some point? We'll see. How do we do that? I don't know. I mean, like cutting rates will really help a lot. That'll help a lot. But when we take a look at what's in VeVe, yeah, there was, I think, a friend of mine sent me a thing today, and he just texted me, and I'll get back to that later. Top 5 collectibles by volume. Leonardo Special Edition. That's number one. So despite Ande saying Michelangelo, Leonardo has been the top 5 collectibles by volume. This was in January. Then Partner Statues number 2, Spider-Man Secret Rares number 3, Leonardo Classic number 4, and the VeVe Gold and Silver logo number 5. So just those have just crushed it. What did we burn? 50? I mean, I think this tweet is wrong. I said 37 million. I think we did 50 million in January. I think that tweet is wrong. But you have, again, a lot of the Todd, Riso, Superman, Partner Statue, like a lot of the things that are in there that make VeVe great is really comes down to like a dozen or so collectibles. Then obviously you have comics as well, and the comics are incredible and they're great. And people stack just these first appearances like no tomorrow. And they should. And if I had any meaningful amount of fiat coming in, I would. I mean, I've said it before, money will come in later this year, and I'm hoping that crypto is still down or lower by the time it comes in, because this way I can stack all that I can. Planet Vampire says I'm still stacking scarce VeVe stuff. It's 7% secret rare Ultraman collectible poster. 362 minutes. Pages are waiting for the price to drop to hit 8%. Bro, let me take a picture of that. So you're not the only one doing stuff like that. That same friend that sent me something, I mean, I'll let you know. You'll see who it is in a second. It's Boba Fett's jetpack. My guy has 10% of the supply, and these things I think are like $1,000. Give me one. No, I don't want VeVe. I gotta go to Stacker. The jetpack. If my thing will come. We're taking down the. No, I'm not gonna sing that song. Meow 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 meow. The white man marches. All right, collectibles. Actually, I got. Okay, let me put jetpack, and then jetpack should be. All right, when I the jetpack, I'm only seeing the jetpack from the RoboCop. Okay, hold on. Z6 jetpack. My phone is being gay. Yeah. So this one. I mean, the jetpack is dope, and you see it in the Mandalorian. Okay, it's $500. So there's only 50 of these, and it's $500. So my man's got at least $2,500 in it. But I think on VeVe these are like $1,000. Like $800 on VeVe. So yeah, these are a lot. And once that goes for the 500, which I think it will at some point, then it goes to like $1,200, which is a lot. And this is a new collectible, and the dude might get more. Like if this goes down to like $300, I'm sure he'll grab another one. This is insane. Yeah, I know, right? Keeper says Miles has a live action movie set for 2027. Will be epic. Yeah. So let's do Miles Rare. I want to take a look at that, because the rare, you got the kicks on, looks great. With the hoodie, $177 hairs, and there's no 2-digit to speak of. Although you can get a 3-digit literally for the same price as the 4. But there's 1,750 of those, I think. Ultra rare, I think there's 1,000 of. And it's 332. When somebody burnt one of these. You get a number 82 for like double, 634. It's 5 million OMI though. 684. But I mean, this is dope. Like this is really cool. But the ultra rare, for whatever reason, is kind of like that redheaded stepchild, because not the secret rare, even though it is scarce, but just the rare people just like. a lot more for some reason. And then the secret rare, it's so stupid scarce, and $6,000 is really not horrible. Can't believe $6,000 gets you 48 million OMI. Maybe I should get more OMI. And then if you buy it for 6, it goes to 15,000. I don't think anyone's doing that. And then on VeVe, it's like 20, and it's like, I'm sure it's happened before at a much lesser scale, but I'm waiting for the day where somebody buys something on VeVe for like $800 when they could have got it on Stacker for like, 120 or 200, and like, I mean, if somebody goes on VeVe and buys it for 20K, I will buy this for 6K like right now. Like if that happens, and somebody goes on VeVe and they buy this for 20K, I'm just gonna, but I'm just gonna go in and what do you call it? I'm just gonna go in and buy this for 6, because like I was talking with a friend about it before. Back in the day, it's like, okay, you put in credit card, you put in PayPal. Let's say something was 20 grand, and you put it in. Yeah, VeVe kind of gets that money, but if you're going to buy a collectible with that, let's say it was like a Donnie, that person gets those gems, and that person that got those gems could spend it on other things, and thus decreasing the 2.5% each time, or they cash out, in which case VeVe's got to pay up. But that all changed when the Fire Nation attack. No, it changed a few months ago, and I think as of November, can't cash out anymore. So somebody puts in 20 grand, VeVe keeps that money. Why? Because they don't need to cash out anymore. And this is why I am so in love with VeVe. Like, this is like, I mean, I'm in love with VeVe for so many reasons, but not having to cash out is one of the most beautiful things for a business that I've ever seen. Like, that is, oh my God. This is why I tried to buy Ben shares. Like, this is why because that, in my opinion, this company never goes out of business just for that fact alone. You could go in, put in $20,000, give that $20,000 in gems to somebody else for a collectible, and they can't cash out. They have to either buy $20,000 worth of stuff in the market and then sell it on Stacker, or they buy it in drops. Either way, that 20K belongs to VeVe. So, like, good on them. Good on them. Visit the, oh, very good. Very good. So yeah, I'm ready for this day when that happens, when people are just going in and they're putting in thousands of dollars like at a time into VeVe again for somebody's collectible, and this time VeVe doesn't have to hold that money. They don't have to worry about cashing people out. So yeah, that's insane. And yeah, Miles 2027. I'm sure we get. Wait, does he? Wait, hold up. I thought I read that. I think I read that wrong. Miles. Anyway, Spider-Man Beyond. Okay, the production starting in 2027. Yeah, there's no way they would have that right now. They might have him. Well, they're going to have him in Secret Wars, because like he's a big part of that story. I won't spoil it on how he's involved, but like, you don't know he's there. Like, he's probably, like, if Doomsday is like the first part, and then they have Secret Wars like part 1 and 2, whatever, he's probably not going to be there for the first movie. He's probably not going to be there for the first couple. Like, he's going to be there in like the second act of the last movie. Because it's not really about him, but at the end is like, oh, like, or the middle is like, Miles, what? Like, it's dope. But yeah, it's not starting production until 2027. It won't. Aside from like a Secret Wars, he won't be in it for a while. Bo saying, not financial advice. Fun question. You're a new user. Would you rather airdrop a partner statue or black and white Batman set, Riso Todd, etc. Flormans, maybe more. Grace on the Batman side in 3 digits. If I were a new user, well, I was gonna say black and white Batman because that's their own set, but Partner Statue is its own set as well. But I don't know if anyone really cares about the Becky Cloonan or the other one. I think they just care about the Riso and the Todd. Partners. I mean, Partners is actually not worth as much. I mean, I think the Becky Cloonan and the Joe Maduro, I think whatever that one is, I think those are worth like $30. But I think they're very, very small. But the Todd is 3 something. But so actually, that's probably close. So if I were new, I'd probably want the Batman one because you don't have to worry about that like 10% fee when you sell. It's like a 4.5% fee. So that's really nice. I'd probably rather have the Batman black and white. Now that being said, I don't have any Batman black and white stuff. I have 2 partner statues. Because and I'll tell you why. DC, if you're listening, it's your fault. DC shared its IP. It tossed it around more than a $2 Lady of the Night. Like it's ran through. And again, Todd is timeless. Todd and Riso are in everybody's top 10 collectibles on VeVe. But a lot of it's because it's classic. It was the first Batman NFT ever made. The first NFT on VeVe ever was Todd, and Riso's the first error. He's labeled as first edition, and that's really meant for art, but they kept that error when they went to Immutable X. So again, it's a really good collectible, and I love it. But why I would prefer and why I have 2 partner statues where I have to pay that 10% fee as opposed to 4.5% is because DC just whoever makes the decisions at DC just doesn't seem to care about the IP or the long-term effects. They're just like, no, here, take the license. Everyone take the license. And then they're like a pimp with a really hot chick, and the hot chick just gets ran through, being tossed to all these other guys. And it's like, you know, that's just how I see it. Disney, yeah, like, and even on VeVe, there's a bunch of Batman, which again is fine. There's a bunch of Batman has like an 80 to 100 year history, you know, so of course there's going to be different versions. Just like there's different versions of Mickey. There's I don't know, a dozen Mickeys out there just on VeVe. Only one Walt though. Only one partner statue. So Joe and Becky. What the shit? Hold on. It's $100? Okay, so it's $111 for Becky Cloonan. $100? I did not expect that. Good for you. Good for you, Becky Cloonan, Batman. Good for you. I mean, well, out of the 3,250 that's in there, you got to know that a bunch of them are locked up in like bot accounts, and there's got to be hundreds. I guarantee you there's less than 3,000 actually available. Like I guarantee you that. Like that. Okay, what was the other one? Joe Maduro? Maduriera. Well, this one's at $44. Okay, so I think because there's 5,500 of these. So yeah, this one's at $44. But the Becky Cloonan is over 100. I wouldn't have guessed that. Like, what would you rather have, 9 Becky Cloonans or a partner statue? Give me that partner statue all day. Like 3 Todds or a partner statue is like, okay, well, 3 Todds makes sense because 1, pay the less fee. But 2, you have that option of selling 1 and keeping 2, trading 1, and then you still have 1 left. Whereas partner statue, you either have it or you don't. Like you have to sell it, eat that fee, and then you know. But at least when stuff rises, you can sell stuff on the way up if you have multiple of them. So that's why stacking I really like. That's why, you know, 3 Todds or a partner statue, you know, that's hard. I mean, it's like, well, what's the price difference between, you know, 3 Todds versus a Todd and a Riso and, you know, something else? Like, well, yeah, again, it's not stacking the same collectible. And even though Riso, let's do a Riso. I think Riso was 6 something, 650 maybe. 660. And then it's 670. Yeah, so there's 4 of them under $700. And then yeah, there's nothing really. Yeah, there's 4 of them under 700. But let me check partners real quick. 889. I feel like I'm gassing myself up. I want another one of these. But I just don't have. Yeah, like the cheapest 2 digits is like $7,000, and I'm not doing that. But $900. Both and even a Riso and a Todd versus partners. Yeah, it's. I still think the partner statue is just a bit more special, just because. Well, I mean, let's look at the top holders of the partner statue. 400 of them belong to Dr. Profit or Dr. Collect now. So out of the 333, like there's less than 3K. Because there's, or is there 4,300? Yeah, it's 4,000. So there's less than 4K just from taking profits out or Dr. Collects out. And then again, how many of them are locked up in bot accounts and whatever account? Like that number is likely much lower. Probably hundreds are gone there. And again, this is one of the most important ones on VeVe. This is partners, again, one of the most important, I think, in the entire space. So it says the one walt is definitely a big one. Even if they made another walt down the line, it'd be much less than Batman or Mickey. Agreed. So hey Randy, if you're looking for a key grail, there's an amazing deal on Secret Rare Captain America. The downside, it's not a Marvel Mighty. Yeah, the Secret Rare Captain America. I wish that got the first appearance because it's so cool. It's so badass. So fun to play with. But you know that not having that first appearance is like, that's rough. Now that being said, once people figure out the first appearance is a Mighty, they might be like, let me get this. Let me just get this badass Captain America. You know, shield smash. But yeah, I like that one too. That one's really good. Anyway, let's go to some of the news here. Got about 40 minutes. Oh boy, 3 a.m. Auction, whatnot. I went through China Bank of Gold, right? Yeah. Okay, now let's do Trump's White House meeting on Bitcoin and crypto market structure is happening tomorrow. Wonder how many. Oh, why did I? Okay, I don't care. Whale bought 3,500 Bitcoin worth $245 million on Binance over on February 8th. That was yesterday. I had deer in my yard yesterday. It was nice. Oh, picture of me and my old cat Kelly. Look at how fucking hot I was. And then also look at Kelly. That's the cutest little gray cat. I freaking love this cat so much. $3.5 trillion Goldman Sachs warns the market sell-off is not yet over, and we could see more of a sell-off. Probably because they keep selling on us. 8.6 million points earned in week 22. Saw over 430 million OMI used on Stacker Marketplace with 799,154 points. Please congratulate OMI Crypto Guy, 10GSWBK, and Jacob Samuel on their week 22 championships. Oh, all right, we'll do that. Oh, I'll do that too. Book of Boba Fett. I had a deer in my yard yesterday. It was great. It was great. Divinity tokens. As tokenized markets are accelerating fast, from your perspective, which asset class is positioned to achieve meaningful institutional adoption? FX, commodities, or fixed income? You decide. Japan's Nikkei 225 stock market hits record high, surging 6% following PM Takachi's election victory. Love it. OMI yesterday said that we're getting the first ever 3D comic as an airdrop from Bad Idea. Hope a few peeps have their set ready for Snapshot, whenever that is. That's cool. Oh gosh. Spydock was in the Super Bowl commercial yesterday. Love that. Omar loves him. Said, "Good evening, Omar." Oh, look at those deer! They're so freaking cool. China orders banks to reduce U.S. Treasury holdings. Of course they do. I hate them. Okay, question. So this came up in my Facebook memories, and I have to ask. I said, "Dear friends, I woke up this morning to news that they finally figured out who Jack the Ripper was." So again, this is a year ago. I posted on Facebook. And I'm getting this real big Mandela effect vibe, because when I was a kid, I had to do a book report on my favorite serial killer. Yes, I specifically remember those words being used because I thought that was very weird that we have a favorite serial killer at 14, but I just ignored it. And the only ones that seem to remember doing this was the others who grew up on Long Island. But I've asked like a dozen people who grew up on Long Island, and only 2 of them remember doing it. Was this a fever dream? Did I just switch universes? Did anybody else have to do a book report on their favorite serial killer in 9th grade? Anyone? Was it just me? And 2 other people? Let me know. Also, Nintendo was founded when Jack the Ripper was still on the loose and when the Eiffel Tower was opened in 1889. Nintendo's been at it for quite a long time. Binance has bought 4,225 more Bitcoin, worth $300 million for its Seifu fund. Very good. Yeah, let's keep on going here. Elon Musk says SpaceX plans to build a self-growing city on the moon within 10 years. Wild. So yeah, I remember stacking when I had MC1 secret rare. I was back and forth on that versus Fantastic Four #1 secret rares. Price at the time, yeah. J Torres, good evening. Grails are looking good. Can I reach my goal of 1,000 common DeLoreans? Well, what are the DeLoreans at? Let's take a look. DeLorean. Let's see what they are. There are $5. Well, we'll get 1,000. Maybe $5,000. Might be able to. I actually have 2 of them. Number 1057 and 15,361. So watch out. I'm right behind you. There's actually a 2-digit. Oh, 279. Hell no. 279. I don't care if it's a 2-digit or not. Hell no. But yeah, there's one for $5, one for $6.35, and then it goes to $36. So that's a lot. A lot. All right, give me 1 sec. Heck is this? I'm not doing that. How do I message this person? Okay, 1 sec. We will show up. Peace, freedom. Shout out to Space Penguin Girl for always tagging me and stuff. Love that. Okay, let's keep going. Tom Lee's Bitmine bought another 40,613 ETH worth 82 million. God dang. Kango sold 4,451 Bitcoin for about 305 million to repay Bitcoin-backed debt and support its expansion into AI compute infrastructure. Digital asset investment products saw a marked slowdown in outflows last week, which totaled $187 million. Strategies acquired 1,142 Bitcoin for 90 million at 78,815 per Bitcoin. RIP. And Bitcoin Monacango, I just went over. 15 years ago today, Bitcoin reached $1 for the first time. Wild, right? Wild stuff. Oh my God. What these people want. Give me one sec. Hell yeah. Huh. Okay. Okay. All right. Glad to see taking care of your health. March 20th is going to be the release of first partner illustration collection. Got a couple of really cool Pokemon packs. I will get it. Actually, I got to put it in my calendar for March 20th. Oh, okay. Meow, 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 meow. World's biggest YouTuber, Mr. Beast, acquires banking app Step. Cool. Public. It's public. Tom Lee's Bitmine bought another $41 million worth of Ethereum. Goddamn. Odds of Coinbase beating quarterly earnings surged to 73%. Good for them. Oh, Snap, old 90s commercial popped on Facebook. 90s commercials. Yeah, they were great, right? Listen, Pokemon Stadium 2, Pokemon Snap. Oh my God, those were the days. Oh God, it was. Now I can beat the Pokemon Snap game, like the entire game in like well under an hour. Like I was very good at that. I distinctly remember one day, like I had given my friend Ashley a bunch of my N64 games, back when I was just leaving the military, because I loved her and I just wanted to give her some games, and I went to visit her a few years later. Well, her and her husband, it was a friend thing, and started playing Pokemon, and I beat that shit like so quick. They're like, "Oh my God, you beat it already!" I was like, "I'm quick, girl." J Tor says, "Suspect, did you give that assignment? Check that basement." So this was like a curriculum thing. This was for the school. Like it wasn't just like my one class. Like we all had to do it. I think we all had to do it. Was it just the one? I don't know. Yo, what up, Bill Gardner? Yeah, Snap was too easy. Stadium 2 in the Game Boy games. Bro, the games because you had to go in and it was hard. You needed tight coverage to beat like the Victory Road, Elite Four and stuff. Not from the games, but from the Pokemon Stadium Challenge that they had in those games. That was hard. That was because they'd be cheap. Like they would go in and like poison you and shit. Like they would use and they would explode with their Weezings. They'd poison you. Because all of their levels are the same, right? So the stadium ones were hard. I mean, I beat them, of course, Pokemon Master. But yeah, I'm glad you remember that. It was feel quite hard. A whale went gigalong on Ethereum in November 2025 and was up $10 million on his trade last month. After the recent drop, he capitulated on his long today and closed for an $8.8 million loss. But that's not all. He just opened another $121 million Ethereum long with 15x leverage and a liquidation price at $1,329. So that dude might get liquidated if we reach down there. I don't think we will, but we'll see. Oh my God, Sean O'Hare, third time's a charm, mint number 77, Boba Fett. Good for him. Good for him. Tom from DEVVE says things are moving very quickly. Actually, this was from about FIAS saying beta is still the way to go as you can test things with real users before opening up more broadly. But the software development is so fast now that having a beta period doesn't mean long delays. Depends on what you're doing. Could pay a program. Could pay a programmer $200K in a year, or I can buy Claude Code for a month for $200 and get 4 times the work done than the programmer would have ever done in an equivalent year. We have a guy named Mark saying, I'm not saying there isn't value in AI, just not sure how FIAS AI as a crypto project will be able to monetize it to add value for the token. Interested to find out, but it does not seem like a clear path. You have somebody saying you have to imagine FIAS AI as an app store where FIAS is the payment currency for the use of the apps or arches. It also helps people build the arches that are sold on the store. Tom Anderson chimes in and says, let's say you take your own personal domain expertise in an area and you make an arch using your expertise. The arch might cost $12 to make, payable in FIAS. Then you could imagine that many people find your arch and use it. Maybe you make 5 cents per use, and that would be 240 uses before you break even. Maybe your arch gets millions of uses over time and turns into some real revenue. Or you upsell other things, or again, not only could you upsell other things, but maybe you add the equivalent of in-app purchases, etc., to the similar, and it's similar to the App Store dynamics, except the creation of the app is super cheap, given how easy it is to build with AI. You can also build arches just for yourself. Maybe you want to track a board game you play with your friends. Now, this is where Tom's showing like his autism, because most people don't play board games. Like most people that do are not like. I just feel like it's a really niche audience here. But again, that's just one example. It says for a few bucks you can build your own web app and use it. I'm personally going to move all of my interactions and data into FIAS and make my life easier and automated. That's bold, very bold. Now, who pays for the LLM tokens that get used in an arch? Does the owner, the user, does the user pay a premium for the arch in order to have it include AI capabilities, or does he have to plug in his own account? Brian says having both options available would be great. Most users using arches would appreciate not having to deal with a bunch of API keys and paying for different models, I guess. Tom says generally users pay for the use of arches, and you can either get a subscription like most AI services, or you can pay as you go. Payment that users make are split between FIAS and contributors. We manage the connections to everything and make it easy for users and contributors. Give me 1 second. Phone is almost charged. I'm going to charge that. We have somebody saying, I understand this, but with an LLM model, for example, Anthropic, Claude, Sonnet, and Haiku have big price differences in token usage. How will the system cover this? Users could exploit the token usage within an arch, and the cost could explode. From my understanding, it would make sense that a usage arch should get recalculated after it's finalized, so the platform knows the detailed breakdown. Otherwise, I would assume people creating arches without knowing if they run net positive. Tom says the way it works is that you pay for what you use as you go, whatever model you use. Contributors that make arches choose the models that they use by name or by simply describing the concept that they want, fast and less expensive, or deep reasoning, or Opus 4.6, et cetera, et cetera. Then the users who use arches pay for that reasoning. As a contributor, you pay for the usage you use in creating an arch with the arch builder too. The arch builder uses Haiku, Sonnet, Opus at different times. And if you simply write hello in the chat, you'll get a response from Haiku, for example. Keep in mind that many arches don't have further tokens that need to be spent. You can make a web app that just does stuff without AI as well as make arches that do use AI. So you kind of get the best of both worlds there. Predator announcement is dope. We have a bunch of Predator comics. We have a bunch of the posters. I don't know how many people care about that, but the collectible will be dope. Like that's pretty sweet. They had a Predator movie last year. I saw it. I don't really see a lot of movies anymore, but I saw that twice. That was a good movie. I also love, I don't know if that's Dakota Fanning or Elle Fanning in that movie. It's one of the Fanning sisters. Predator movie 2025. Let's see, the cat. Yeah, it's called Badlands. It was Elle Fanning. That's who's in that movie. That was fantastic. That movie was great. And yeah, bro, that was dope. That is so good. That was so good. I loved it. Penguin always says, I still don't understand FIAS. Can you explain it in child language? FIAS is a playground for nerds, and it's a specific type of nerd. FIAS is a playground for developers, and they're going to have their own AI chatbot, their own AI agent, and they can build whatever they want without an AI agent, or they could go in and they could build with that AI agent at a much more efficient, like a crazy amount more efficient rate. And they could build their own arch, and it would cost them X amount of money, or they could use somebody else's arch to help them build. Each arch figure that as like a tool or like a vehicle that you could use to get from where you want to where you're going. And that's what it is. It's not for people like you and me. It's for the developers that want to develop stuff, and they'll pay to use that because it's awesome, and everything's payable in FIAS. It's going to be like the place for AI. Like AI is just there's so much money in this right now. They are going to explode. Now I should get the token, but I'm trying to do a bunch of things at once. So I do not have a meaningful amount of, I don't have really any of the token, but I will at some point. I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. Moving on to February 15th, I guess we're going to find out which predator we get. Yeah, that's true. They didn't, I would have said bad that just came out last year, but we'll see. Randy, how's sentiment feelings for OMI these days for you and your investment? It depends. You have, for the normal person out there that invested years ago, if they're still here, they're either very negative or they're like, because there's not a ton of people that are super excited right now. There's like me and like a couple dozen others, and everyone else that's still here right now is either very upset and they're just fudding, or they just kind of like, they have OMI, and some that didn't have OMI now do have OMI because that's the only way you can get some of these collectibles on the secondary market. So there's that use case is still remaining, even for the people that kind of wrote it off. People go and they still use that just to buy collectibles. For me personally, I'm more kind of in the meh to excited range. No, because like it's not exciting, so it's not really like fun. It's fun to see what VeVe's doing. It's fun to see the collectibles, fun to see the sales. And obviously OMI getting more utility is good. It's just, I feel like right now VeVe is a chunky person that's doing the right thing. They're dieting, they're exercising, they're being creative in how they exercise. But they have something wrong with them. They have like something, maybe like an underactive thyroid, and they're just not losing weight. Like they're doing everything right, and it's just not the time. Like what needs to happen is probably them to get the thyroid taken out and then to get on medicine. And what that medicine would be, let's say the thyroid just dissipates, right, and dies. It is really just the overall market needs to change. Once the overall market changes, and you have Jerome Powell out of there, and you have rates decrease, and then you have the Clarity Act passed, suddenly, like, Jerome Powell getting out of there is the excising of the diseased thyroid, and passing the Clarity Act is the medicine. And both of those combined are going to bring health and prosperity and back to the VeVe company. I mean, it's going to be back to the overall market, but then obviously VeVe is going to benefit from that. And once that happens, then everything that VeVe's done will just take it to the moon at an accelerated rate. And then OMI goes crazy. And then so I'm excited for when that happens, but it's just probably not going to happen for several months. But for my investment, I'm chilling. It doesn't really matter. I have dollar cost averaged a bit more. I'm up to 300 million now. In the next, I don't know, if we're still down here in like 8 to 9 months, I'll get a bit more. I'll get to like 350, 400 million. If we're down here in like a year, like the 15 months, I'll get like 3 billion. Fuck it, I'll get as many as I can, because it's the underlying company is fine. They're doing very, very well. But the idea of not buying down here, and again, like right now, just the fiat that I have is not a lot. It's all in other cryptos and then just shares in other companies. But at some point, when the other companies go and they raise money or they get bought, and that should happen for 2 of my companies in the next 15 months. If OMI's still down here, then I'm gonna go crazy, and I'm gonna I'm gonna be like, all right, David, you gotta let me. I'm just gonna try to buy part of the company, or I'm just gonna get like 5 billion OMI. But I mean, I don't need to, though. I kind of have my position. I don't. At that time, if crypto has already gone up by the time I get that money, I think I told my friend Joe on Saturday when I had him on the podcast, half will just go into high risk lending. The other half will just go into Pokemon cards at that point. Because again, I have my position, so it doesn't really matter one way or the other. Seems as I saw Predator Prey last week. Yeah, dude, Prey 2 came out, I think, too, didn't it? Because the first one was great. Prey 2 was canceled? Wait, hold up. Wait, hold up. Prey. Wait, the first Prey came out in 2017? There's no way. There's no way. Hold on. There was a video game. Okay. Prey 2 is in development because the first one came out in 2022. Reunited Predator franchise, and we're Mid-Thunder and talks to return as Naru. Continuing the story of the Comanche warrior, okay, following the arrival of multiple Predator ships, but to explore her leadership as a war chief against new threats. Okay, well, it's officially in development. Probably 2027 is when they'll do a release. But yeah, the first one was so good, and the second one I want to see. Oh, lady, I don't. Okay, yeah, Prey was amazing. Don't tell anyone. The VeVe comics, especially first appearance, have been going up. They have. Slow but steady. Michael Gazelian says, also, Harry Multimillionaire on paper, whenever on your YouTube title is down 90% from all-time high. It's very easy to explain. Most of my net worth is not in crypto. I mean, have I been dollar cost averaging on everything here? Yes. Also, daCat is not down 90% from all-time high. It's actually up from where I bought it. But and also, that's just the crypto that is loosely connected to the IP, but the IP is just something much different. I mean, again, it's loosely connected. The IP and the stories will have utilities for the token. I don't know if we'll do straight up discounts or like straight. We'll have a certain percentage of our stuff. We'll be doing giveaways, and we'll be doing stuff for the token where you could pay with the token. But we can't do it where like everything is payable in the token, because then like we need to pay for this stuff, and we don't want to sell and create negative downward pressure on it. But anyway, again, the IP, which is mine 95%, that is different. So between the YouTube channel, that the 2 other companies I have, I guess 3, but really most of it is in just 2 other companies. Like daCat is great, YouTube channel is great, but the most of it is in 2 other companies that I have. One is, well, I mean, both of them are good. One is significantly more than the other, but one I could probably cash out in this year, the other one next year. The one I won't be able to cash out likely until next year. That's the big one. But but yeah, it's through everything. Like my crypto is a very, very small part of my net worth. Bill Garner saying me. Wait, what are you responding to? Are you responding to Michael? You're responding to sleeping? Let me know. Okay, let's all right, I got a meeting I got to run to. I mean, it's not until 8:30, so I have 25 minutes. I do want to eat though. I haven't eaten yet. Let's go through the rest of Tom's thing. Tom says, I envision this type of thing will be possible as a general rule. FIAS has entities which perform actions and arches which organize an overall process and use entities. We'll use entities in order to access external APIs. So if there's a platform that uses APIs, then arches will be able to access those APIs, and FIAS AI is smart enough to design around APIs. Tom continues on saying, I've been building a patent writer. The first real arch built with the Arch Builder. Struck me yesterday the development is kind of like the movie Inception, when they go into dreams within dreams within dreams. I was creating the Arch Builder with Claude Code, and then I was using the Arch Builder to create the patent arch. Then I'm in the process of using the patent arch to write a patent. It's a very cool system. I agree. It is. Company invested in that's going to cash out for millions. I don't think I can say right now. I'll let you know when it happens. And again, there's two of them, and so there's one. So be advised, the two companies that I own shares, like they're not my companies. Mine would be like my YouTube channel and daCat. And together, I mean, we haven't raised money for daCat at the valuation that I'd like to yet. We raised money at 150K valuation last year. But when we raise money this year, daCat will be at a 500K valuation. And then the YouTube channel, when we do that, I'd like it to be at 800K. We'll see. But those are mine. The other two that I'm talking, I mean, there's a third company that I have like 25K shares. It's not a lot, very small amount. But I think that one. But the other two, like, they're not mine. I just have shares in those companies, and they're insane. I've backed the right horses. What I was saying to you, I'm one of the few that are excited. Oh, heck yeah! Much excited. Michael says, I'm only asking because I'd love to invest too. Shoot me a message on X, and then we'll talk, because they're not public companies, they're private. I know one of them you could definitely get in. Two of them you could probably get in. The third one, that's going to be very hard, and I don't even think you'd want to. Is that such a high valuation already? Like when they raise, we'll talk. Shoot me a message on X, and we'll go through it. Let me go into the last. All right. I had another meeting with another company today that the people that the syndicate that I was meeting with introduced me to another company last year that I was going to put money in, but then stuff got whacked. And I just did, and they wound up not doing it. They couldn't meet the requirements to get in. It's supposed to be a big amount, and they didn't fill it. So everyone got refunded. So thankfully I didn't, but they're good projects, good companies. So if anyone is actually looking to buying shares of companies that are private, they're not yet public, let me know. Oh, someone got a fig pin gold, like they saw the golden fig pin, but it doesn't come with the VeVe code. I don't know how you get the VeVe code if it doesn't come with that, though. Also, in 2009, singer Lily Allen declined a payment of $200 for a concert. Today, that would be worth $14. She had accepted a no. She would be the 20th richest woman in the world. That is bananas. Fed Governor Waller says crypto dips have happened before and big crashes are normal. Years ago, if you said Bitcoin was 10,000, you'd say, oh my God, this is crazy. That's true. God, there's so many freaking things. House Democrats seek to overturn President Trump's tariffs. Zero gains tax on crypto investments, erasing all the gains. Ash Crypto Real is hysterical. Rep. Thomas Massey has been reviewing the unredacted Epstein files. He's planning on like releasing a bunch of them. That's insane. Protect Thomas Massey. Lutnick went to the island and was in business deals with Epstein long after Lutnick says he parted ways, and even after Epstein was convicted of sex crimes. What else is Lutnick covering up with respect to his association with Epstein? I don't know. Okay, yeah, I gotta go, guys. I gotta bounce, but I love y'all. I will see y'all tomorrow for the OMI Homie show. I will catch y'all later. Everyone's everybody.